Com doesn't give that information out. They don't give it out. They don't give employers out. They never have. So wherever that hoax came from, we all know where it came from. One of the repeater hogs that was supposed to be wiped off this repeater is given valid information. Break for traffic.
Talking about passing out Social Security numbers, I believe that was the basis for it, but your introductory thing there got cut off.
Introductory thing was the California State Bar sent me a letter. The letter basically states, in the rules of professional codes and ethics, there is grounds for complaint when an attorney, whether he is at his work in Long Beach, California, or not, is giving legal advice and saying, well, Social Security numbers are public record. Well, they're not. And when he's encouraging an officer of the court on a federal frequency, someone to do that when he knows a crime is being committed, could be subject to disciplinary action. Could be subject. So when we have our lawyers on the frequency giving out information that is not really accurate, I suggest you look into the federal codes. And I have every single case and every single federal code. And it's right at my fingertips, Roy.
Roy, can I respond to this guy?
Go ahead, John.
Hoffman, I never said that Social Security numbers were fair game. We all know that Social Security numbers are absolutely privileged. And, you want to go ahead and file a complaint with the California State Bar against me? Go for it. I've got no problems with that. You want to know why? Because there's such a thing as abuse of process, and I might even look into that. I haven't done any research on it, but I'll look into it. Why don't you talk to your brother before you go shooting your mouth off out here? N6JON.
Hey, John, why are you talking to that idiot?
Roy, can I...
Quite frankly, Chris, because he's out here threatening me, and I don't respond well to threats. In fact, I respond to threats with the same thing. You want to go ahead and try to cause a problem, Hoffman, you go for it, but then you're going to go ahead, put your helmet on, and dig yourself a trench, because you're going to be ducking for a while. N6JON.
Well, if you took that as a threat, N6JON, this is N6ZKZ, I didn't threaten anybody. I gave an overall statement. If you take that as a threat because you have done something wrong, well, then you must be guilty then.
I took that as a threat, Hoffman, because you said it was a lawyer in Long Beach who's on this frequency. And as far as I know, I am the only one. So don't go threatening me, boy. It's not a good thing to be doing. N6JON.
Hey, can I make an observation?
As soon as ZKZ finish.
On the frequency and tell people it's okay to give out Social Security numbers because it's not okay.
Told anyone to give out Social Security numbers, Steve. And by saying that, you are now slandering me in front of a lot of witnesses. I said there are many things that are public record, and Social Security numbers not public record. You sent me an email the following day. I sent it back to you saying, yep, they're not public record. But you apparently want to try and make a show out of this. You want to make a show? Come visit me. N6JON.
Why are you jamming them, John? I thought you don't jam, remember, making beer tea? Why are you jamming them?
You're jamming them right now there, Brandon Boyle. I was unkeyed, hoping to hear Mr. Hoffman again. But apparently you're not going to let him talk. N6JON.
Hey, KC6OPH, KC6JON, and hopefully I'm not intruding. If Roy was I don't want to jump on Roy. Roy, do you have anything to say?
The only thing I've got to say is I will certainly not be a referee between the children in the sandbox. I've never, ever intended to ever sit by and censor anybody's comments out here. I've certainly preached sermons for years about the fact that everybody is expected to obey Part 97 rules and not be a hog. And also, I think for decency's sake, that polite people don't do impolite acts. But I'm certainly not going to sit back and say, now, tut-tut, you said this, now, tut-tut, you said that, and tut-tut, you shouldn't have done this, and tut-tut, you shouldn't have done that. That's not my job, nor is it a job of anybody that's working for me or working with me.
Yeah. I believe I did my best, Roy. I come out here and try to call it like it is, and I even try to help, BIW or whatever. I'm even compassionate about ZKZ's problem. But I have to come out here every time I turn on the radio. I have to listen to this freaking moron talk about some stupid bullshit. I'm getting sick of it.
Here comes Chris.
Shut the fuck up. Who asked you anyway?
Nasty White's in there jamming the ZKZ in front of the owner.
We'll come out here and bellyache. If you don't like counterclockwise or push the on-off button.
John,
You are not what ham radio is about, Stevie. Neither are the people that are, doing all the jamming or doing the malicious crap like you're saying. But my God, what do you want us to do for you? What do you want us to do? Do you think if you complain about it enough, something different's going to happen? I mean, what's the deal with you?
Hey, ZKZ. Of the laws and the ramifications, the repeater owner. I'm not talking about the attorney that seems to think he knows it all. I'm talking about Roy Tucker and Catherine Tucker. They're the owners and trustees of the repeater. I think if he's aware of that, and I put you on notice, Roy, that if he's monitoring and listening, he'll ask the offenders to stop.
Oh, listen to yourself, Steve. I put you on notice, Roy. I mean, who are you? You're nothing more than a nitwit.
And to stop. To stop it. No.
you butt the fuck out, OPH. We're sick of hearing your ass, too. Butt the fuck out.
Oh.
Quit jamming ZKZ, okay? ZKZ's got a message.
J-O-N.
Man, you guys are a bunch of idiots if you just sit there and like listening to this moron. I'm sorry. I'm telling you, man. This is not what ham radio is about. When you talk about, the hobby, you talk about something interesting, but, man, you guys are sick.
Oh, come on, Chris. I've heard ZKZ talk about a lot of interesting things out here. Federal bouncers, women in the streets. I mean, all kinds of stuff. I mean, come on.
All right. I guess you want to show that bad, I'll leave it alone. But it's not like I'm not selling the truck. I was trying to save him all the hassle of making himself look like a bigger jerk than he already is. But I guess nobody cares. Nobody cares, and they just want to show. But I mean, he's got to come up with some more variants, some more different stuff. The same old thing just doesn't cut it.
Is the net over?
Shut up, Chris. Finish stuffing your face and let's listen to ZKZ.
It's Christopher King.
The remaining item is the item here which Steve has brought up about disseminating information. I think Steve's point, and somewhat of a defense of Steve, is that certain people have put out certain things that could be potentially embarrassing or are harmful to individuals, and they shouldn't be doing it on amateur radio. I agree. On the other hand, if he expects me to sit back and be a censor of things like that, I certainly am not prepared to do anything of that nature. But there are people who have been known to come on and start talking about police records, talking about property ownership, talking about being sued in court, talking about conflicts with conflicts with somebody, talking about any number of things which I think just had no relevance to amateur radio. If you want to talk about conflicts dealing with amateur radio, well, that's fair game as far as I'm concerned. But these other things, criminal activities and anything of a potentially embarrassing nature, I think just simply doesn't belong on the air any more than ethnic slurs or insults to people's lifestyle or whatever it is that they're out there so often on 435 doing, just pouring it on, saying how much you hate the other person. And just to sort of wonder if that is all that somebody got into amateur radio to do, just to come out there and just try to cause commotion for another individual.